So this 2-day adventure has been really incredible for us as well. We've met people from literally all over the world and had a chance to spend time with them. And let's see if I can get the tally right here off the top of my head. We have individuals and families from Myanmar, the Ukraine, Argentina, Colombia, Mexico, Korea, and Bosnia here in on our Nature for New Canadians 2-day outdoor experience. And it's been really cool to be able to chat with these people and chat and get some of their history and find out sort of why they've come to Canada. Some of them have come because they're just looking to change their lives up. They weren't necessarily fleeing anything or fleeing strife. Some of them absolutely were. The Bosnian family lived through the war in the early part of the 90s and went from being a family that was quite successful as a plumber, had 2 houses in 2 different towns and enjoyed a fairly high standard of living, to really watching their lives honestly get torn apart by the conflict and the war, moving to Canada and struggling to figure out how he's going to get his plumbing certifications so that he can reclaim his career. At the moment he's working as a building maintenance man in a building that his son manages, or his son-in-law manages, which, while it puts some of his skills to work, it doesn't put all of his skills to work. But he's hopeful. He was talking about what it would take for him to go back to Red Deer College and how long it would take and how much money it would cost. But he can really see a light at the end of the tunnel. There's a young man from Iraq with us who is a dental technician. He's a very metropolitan young man and with a professional career in Iraq. But again, left Iraq for what he says are obvious reasons. And would love to be a dental technician here. He makes plates and bridges and false teeth and things like that. But again, the certifications don't transfer, and he would have to go back to school at NAIT for a couple of years and incur those expenses in order to be able to practice his trade here. But he's been a tremendous help to the community. He works as a translator and helps out with translation services through CARE. And he's had one of the most interesting and I think illuminating comments of this whole trip so far. We were out in Rocky Mountain House yesterday, and the interpreter out there was teaching us how to make a fire out of flint cloth and a flint and steel and bunched grasses. And you put the flint cloth in the bunched grasses and then strike the flint against the steel or the steel against the flint and make an ember and or make a spark. And it was quite funny because on us, he said, this is how we still do it at home. And it was a really good reminder that as much technology as we have and as much as we like to sort of do the interpretive, thing, the historical thing, and say this is the way things used to be, for a lot of people in the world, this is the way things still are. And so for some people that are moving to the country, they have a whole learning curve just in terms of technology and modern convenience that perhaps they don't have in their home countries. But so as much as the clients and the participants are getting out of this experience, I think it's safe to say that the interpreters are getting just as much out of it. I know I've had a really good time. I know that Avery and Catherine have had a really good time. And so I think we've got a couple more hours of fun, and then we'll pack up and hopefully try and engage the people that were on this experience into sort of more activities with the Nature Center and more nature-based activities with CARE, and begin to start having them act as ambassadors for nature in the community. So if this is something you'd like to get involved with, get in touch with us at the Nature Center or through CARE, and we can maybe bring you along on the next excursion.